ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon.
Well, welcome to the Roundtable, everybody. My name is Robert Bannon, and you're listening to us on Broadway World, or maybe you're watching us on Broadway Podcast Network, or did I mix that up? I did. You can listen to us. You can watch. I was just talking to Joe because Joe, our guest, Joe Rosko, is here, and he has a podcast, and we have a podcast, and we were talking about we were just two old podcasters talking about the ways we podcast, the mistakes we've made. But here's the thing that you need to know about Joe. Joe has a company. That is out here doing the fitness for all your favorite Broadway stars. He's then talking to them on his podcast. He's going to tell us that we can eat carbs. He's going to give us a full nutritional plan for free. He's going to show up at your house tomorrow and do a free workout in your garage. That's what Joe has everyone watching. Joe's showing up no matter where you are. No, I'm really excited. He's an entrepreneur. He is somebody out here who's trying to get us healthy, and he's out here sharing about the tricks of the trade, all of that on his podcast called Built for the Stage as well. I'm really excited that Joe is here. Welcome to the Roundtable, Joe Rosko. Thank you.
Hello. Look at you promising the world for me. Come on.
I didn't even talk to you about it, but thank you for agreeing.
Where are these garages located? I can only be so many places.
Joe, what do you call yours? Are you a trainer? Are you a businessman? Are you an actor? Like, who is Joe?
I guess I'm a self-proclaimed Renaissance man. It's been like that since I was a kid. I feel like I was just always bouncing from one thing to the next, whether it was being in a school play or doing a sport or buying a plastic pink briefcase from Walmart and having a pretend business meeting at my friend's house down the street at like 7 years old. That's been my life. So I don't really know who I am. Who knows?
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Youngstown, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, in the Midwest.
How did you end up in New York City?
Yeah. Well, that could be a very long story, but I guess the short end of it is that I eventually decide to go to school for musical theater to be a professional actor. So, of course, if you're trying to be a professional stage actor, you will eventually move to New York City. So, yeah, I did that. And that was a part of the journey.
Is fitness, because you have a company, and when I read about the company, and he has swag, and you can buy clothes, and they have a really fun, fancy website, and there's lots of famous people that work out with your company. I know some people who are trainers, who are actors, and they do this as a side gig while they can audition and make their own hours. Did it start as the idea of like, I got to pay my bills, so let's do this? And then did it become a passion? It became your baby?
Yeah, I love that question. I was so heavily involved with sports that I had to choose between sports and theater as far as scholarships go to college. And I chose theater thinking I could do theater for the rest of my life. But if I go to school for football, it'll end after 4 years and that'll be that. So I'm going to do theater. So I go to school for theater, but every Saturday in my dorm room, I would hear the announcer on the PA system and I would cry in my dorm room because I would miss football so much. So I walked on to the college football team as a Division I school. So like very hard to do. And I got on the team. So I'm probably the only musical theater major playing Division I college football. And I loved training. I always have. And my strength and conditioning coach on the team was like, you should get your certification. So at 18, I got my certification. And obviously, none of my football friends needed training because we were already, getting trained from the team. So my other half of my friends were all actors. So right from the beginning, the only people I was training were actors. Every summer stock I went on, of course, a new batch of actors I would get to be friends with, and I was training them. Then I moved to New York City, and the long answer, I guess, now is yes. At a time, I was doing it as like my side hustle. But I did a gig in 2012 and it was for 2 years. And I came back to the city afterwards, like very burnt out. And I was just saying to myself, I'm just going to do training and focus on that for just a bit. I'm just going to take a break. And during that break, I built up a clientele of just Broadway performers. And I was really enjoying it. And it got to the point of like, well, I want to keep doing this. And I'm looking around and I see that the theater community grows up as kids that are heavily involved with theater, but obviously not a lot of the times in sport or how to train. And I'm like, wow, everyone's doing this 8 times a week, highly physically demanding. And it seems like most of them don't know how to train, and they're taking these random classes and they're not really training like the way that they should be. But I only have enough time. I only have enough time for the clientele that I have. So luckily for me, because of where I was at in life and my pursuit of fitness, I got a head start on apps. So I jumped on an app in 2017 before it was cool, and I started training actors on an app, and that's how I really expanded my mission of training actors like the athletes that they are. Yeah, so actually my break to answer your question, uh, an hour later, it started as the side hustle, but very quickly when I took this quote unquote break, the break has now been 13 years long. So yeah.
So for 13 years, you've had and owned this company. I read that there's over 20 Broadway shows. There's performers literally all over the world. It's not just in New York City. And then regular 9 to 5 people, everybody can be and gain something from your company built for the stage.
Yeah, so in 2012, I was training the clients in person only. And then 2017 is when I went virtually and officially named it Built for the Stage. And at some point, the London thing happened in 20, it was like 2021, where COVID had happened. We were still in shutdown, and Australia and London were kind of edging us out in getting back to it before us here in New York on Broadway. So I was like, well, the Australians and the Brits both speak English. This is an app that can be used anywhere. So I'm just going to expand this company overseas, and had this mission of doing so. I took 2 long trips to London, a third trip that I actually lived there for a year and a half. Yeah, so we are definitely global. Tokyo Disney, we're in South America, everywhere.
And it's your, like, this is your baby. Like, this is your company.
Yeah, it's been a long journey. It's been a grind. It definitely wasn't just handed to me and the team. It was just, yeah, one actor at a time, and just really putting their goals and needs first, and trying to deliver the best service we can. And that's really, I'd say, the main brunt of the growth is just people, uh luckily and nice enough, just sharing. I think the best testament to Built for the Stage is when someone actually cancels and they say whatever, it's funding or whatever the reason is. And typically when that happens, it's like you're never seeing that person again. But this happens so many times and people come back. And that's when I really know that we're doing a good job, because to have someone leave and come back is it says something.
So I love this. I'm so obsessed with fitness and people's journey and what you do, because it's not something that has come naturally to me. Like I'm not like a natural athlete. I'm not a naturally skinny person. If I am skinny, depends on the day. When you, what exactly do we get on the app? Like, is it for if I'm sitting at home and I live and I'm watching the show in LA, like some of my people that watch every week, like what am I getting? Videos? Am I talking to you? Am I getting a workout plan? Like what exactly is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, to rewind what you were kind of, joking about or having jest about, like, we definitely will serve aesthetic goals, but like first, our mission is to train actors like athletes, and our main goal is that an actor is capable and durable. Are they capable to do the show 8 times a week? Are they capable to do what a director or choreographer is asking of them? And then are they durable? Can they repeat that task 8 times a week for months or years or however long they're in the show? We have people that are in college. We have people that are in their 40s, 50s. We have people that are large humans. One of them, he is like a NFL defensive end, like the most athletic 285-pound beast of a man that you'll ever meet. So anyways, like, I just wanted to emphasize that on top of what we do at Built for the Stage, which I'll get into, we definitely are performance based. But yeah, if your goal aesthetically is like lose some pounds, cool. We'll do that too. You're gonna get video demos. You're gonna get a personalized program. So let's say, Robert, you joined. You're gonna fill out a questionnaire. What injuries have you had? What's your fitness background? What are your goals? Where do you work out so that I can know what equipment you have? You're going to let us know your shipping address because we're going to send you a free Built for the Stage shirt for joining. And then once you get going, I'm going to write up 5 days for you as like a test run. And then you're going to give me feedback. And in those workouts, I'm going to be checking the feedback you give me, which is either written by you, or you could even film yourself for technique feedback, and I'll check that. And then after those 5 sessions, I'll start to refine and really polish like exactly our plan of action together. And then the nutrition is optional. Nutrition's a very individualized experience for everyone. So I like to meet our clients where they're at. So if they want to just do their own thing, that's fine. We'll just help you with fitness. If they want to do intuitive lifestyle approach, I can help you with that. If they want to get into the nitty gritty of macros and calories and like mentally, that's okay for them. I can definitely help you with that as well. So yeah, Built for the Stage it's oftentimes viewed as a program, but really it's me on the other side of the screen as your coach. So it's not just like a typical app you might buy in the app store and you're just floating out there by yourself.
I love this so much, Joe. This is so smart and so much fun. So you really can be anywhere, everybody. You don't have to be in New York, and you can have it tailored to you. So all my artist friends out here, and anyone that's a musician, singer, actor, or anyone that's just looking to physically get themselves together, emotionally, mentally, all the parts together, Joe's got you hooked up right here. Builtforthestage.com, I believe, and at Built for the Stage on Instagram. So before I talk about your podcast, which is super fun, and I wonder if you have clients that go on your show as guests. I have so many questions, but what is the misconception that people make about their fitness journey? Like, I was joking with you, Joe interviewed me, and I asked him at the very end, can we eat carbs? I know people think they need to starve themselves. We think we need to be at the gym for 6 hours a day, otherwise it's not worthy of us going. I will never eat an M&M again or a ice cream again. What are the misconceptions that make us fail?
Yeah. Well, yeah, like that comment of like, I'll never eat an M&M again. Typically, people try to go so extreme that they'll do it for a day or 2 days or a week or maybe even a month. And then eventually the wheels are going to fall off and you're going to go off the deep end and end up worse off than when you started. So in fitness, in anything in life, really, moderation's gonna win. I rather you train for 3 times a week and 70% of the time eat and drink the way that you should, rather than train 7 days a week, eat and drink the way you should 100% of the time, but then quit a week later. Us doing that for the long haul is always going to benefit us. You talking about carbs, when you're speaking about macros and calories, typically, for everyone listening, a little like a tidbit of info. Typically, when dealing with nutrition, you want to split up your fat, carb, and protein intake to a 40, 30, 30 split. So your 40%, the biggest split is going to be carbs. Oh my gosh. The biggest split is going to be carbs. The 30% is fat and the other 30% is protein. What a lot of people don't know about the fat intake is that fat has 9 calories per 1 gram, where carbs and protein only have 4 calories per gram. So actually your fat is double of a carb. And carbs are great. They're good for energy. They're good for facilitating protein synthesis and recovery. So we definitely don't want to avoid carbs. It's really just the types of carbs, You can have, I don't know, a bunch of strawberries and some sweet potatoes and some rice, and like that's all fine. And you can whatever, maybe a handful portion or a portion that'll make you full is, let's say it's, I don't know, 500 calories. Or you can have a cannoli and a piece of cake that's 1,500 calories.
Right.
That's not going to be as nutritious for you, and also is going to spike your sugar and make you even more hungry 30 minutes later.
Right.
So it's not carbs, it's the types of carbs.
I love that, and I've learned my own journey and having to figure it out for myself. I've learned a lot about stuff like this, and what I find fascinating about it is that Joe's got it for you no matter where you are. And some people, Joe, what I like about your app is that people are afraid of the gym. They're afraid of going into a place and talking to a trainer, or they're ashamed of their journey or the fact that they don't have the knowledge. But you make it so that they're able to have a conversation with you without some of the fear and judgment and stigma that people are necessarily going to have. And that is really beautiful.
Yeah, we try to make it as welcoming as possible. And the cool thing about the app too is that it's kind of like your own little tour guide. Like it's going to show you how to use the machine or how to do the movement pattern of, I don't know, when you're using a dumbbell or a cable or something, so that you're not going by memory or you're not feeling like you're just floating out there by yourself. Another great thing is, like, what my clients usually say is that they like the mindlessness behind it, where you just walk in and you just pull up the app and it's like, okay, section A, here we go. What's next? Section B, here we go. There's no figuring out what I'm going to do today, or what YouTube video am I going to try to cherry pick off of that has no linear progression and seamless route towards my goal. It's hey, this coach heard what I want. He listens to my feedback and he's giving me the program that is going to meet my needs.
This is so good. I'm so excited to hear about it. And kudos and congrats to you. Entrepreneur, businessman, personal trainer, actor, podcast host. I don't know what you do, Joe. See, that's why he couldn't define himself, everybody. He's doing everything. So that leads me to your next question. So you have a performer spirit because you now host a podcast that is on the Broadway Podcast Network. Are you someone who's a fan of podcasts? Do you know what you're doing? Were you like, how did it start? And then how did you end up at BPN?
Yeah, I love this question. Much like the putting my business on an app in 2017 and kind of being ahead of the curve before every other fitness trainer and program jumped on during the pandemic, I felt like I also was a bit ahead of the curve with the podcasting too. I fell in love with podcasts maybe 2014 or 15. I know that they came out even sooner than that, but like, no one listening right now could say in 2014 or 15 that podcasting was like mainstream. No way. I particularly loved a podcast called How I Built This by Guy Raz, who's a journalist for NPR. And How I Built This has like the top of the top entrepreneurs that have created anything that all of us know about. And that hour or so discussion was just really running through their journey of how they developed that amazing service, whether it's the iPhone, Spanx, I'm blanking now who else they had, Airbnb, whatever. The biggest of companies out there that you could think of, they've been on How I Built This. So fast forward, I'm training all these Broadway clients, and unless you were Audra McDonald or, I don't know, Raul Esparza, whoever, the top of the top that get interviewed, typically we don't know about these people. We just know, oh, so-and-so has been in 11 Broadway shows, but they've never been interviewed because they've been a supporting lead or ensemble or whatever. So as I'm training them and I'm getting to know them and hearing all these amazing stories, I'm like, I need to start a podcast. I have to do it. So I started a podcast. I started it on this app. It was called Anchor. I'm pretty sure it's still Anchor FM, but I think Spotify bought them out. But they were like a great platform for beginners. It was like a very, hey, just press record and we'll take care of the rest type of thing. I had no microphone that was really what it was supposed to be. What I ended up doing was they had like an app version of Anchor, and I bought a splitter lapel mic. So there's 2 lapel mics, and you could plug the cord into your cell phone. So all of my interviews at the time, this was before the boom of virtual interviews, were in person. And I would sit like awkwardly close to my guest so that the lapel mic could fit both of us and chat. And then eventually sometimes if I felt too uncomfortable, like I didn't really know the guest that well, this is the best, Robert. This is the best. I once got a empty Starbucks cup, plastic cup that you would have like an iced Americano in or whatever. And I set that on the desk and had the lid on. Then I stuck a pen where the straw would go. And then I connected the lapel to like the clip part of the pen. And that was the microphone that I was using. One time, I've actually never told her this to this day. I've never told her. I was training Patty Murin, and Patty was at the time in Frozen as Anna. And I met her in front of the old Blockheads. If you're a New Yorker, you know where that's at. And she was lovely enough to take the time to interview with me. And there I was with my lapel mics, and we sat there in the courtyard. Another tangent. So many random ass places I was interviewing people, like no studio, like by the street, taxis honking, homeless screaming things, like craziness. But Patty, we did this. I don't know if this ever happened to you, Robert. This is the only time it's happened to me. We did the whole interview, and at the time, it was pretty early in my podcasting. So she was one of the bigger names I had interviewed. And wouldn't you know it, we were done. I get on the train to commute back home, and I was like, oh, let me just listen, see the very beginning part. It didn't record. So I never had the courage to be like, Patty, I'm so sorry, but the 30 minutes you carved out of your extremely busy 2-show day to be a lead on Broadway, the recording didn't work. So the episode was never released. She never asked why. I never told her why because I was too big of a coward. I'm back to actually. She had stepped away working with me for a little bit. She was starting a family, and we're working together again. So I should tell her. I think she'll get a laugh out of it. But yeah, that's a little story for you.
I have had the experience where we have had microphones that we've done full press days for Broadway shows and gone back and there's no audio and I get frustrated. It's not a great look, but I've learned so much, Joe, and just like you've learned, but I'm still getting over the lapel in a straw cup. That is, see, that's creative, Joe. That's why you're an entrepreneur.
I guess.
And shout out to Patty Murin and her husband Colin and all of I love them and I love that story. And I think she's going to do your show again. I think she's coming on because you're going to ask her and she's going to say yes.
You know what? I'm getting the chills just hearing you say it. So yeah, I think this is a serendipitous moment for sure. Yeah.
How did Broadway Podcast Network then find you, or you found them?
No, Alan, one of the founders, he just emailed me because at the time, BPN, wow, how many podcasts are in BPN now? We have a huge family. But before the pandemic hit, I was one of the few. I remember there was it was called Behind the Curtain. I listened to that a few times before the pandemic. I don't know if Seth, if he had a podcast version of his show yet. I think I listened to him a bit. Anyways, there was a very small amount of theater people doing podcasts. So he must have just, I don't know, did a podcast Google search of what Broadway people are doing podcasts. And he reached out, and the thing, it hadn't even started yet. No website, no nothing. He was like, this is what we're doing. Are you interested? And I was like, yeah, I'm flying by the seat of my pants over here. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So any help would be amazing. So that's how that went down.
And now, hundreds of episodes later, your show is out. So, is there a certain time they come out? Are they randomly out? Do you have a certain release day? And then, what is your show about? Who are the guests? Like, what is your
Yeah.
process?
Yeah. Typically, if I'm staying on top of my game, every Monday we'll release an episode at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Uh, Depending on my travels as of late or other dishes I'm balancing with long sticks. Sometimes I might drop the ball on every Monday, but Bill for the Stage since the beginning, like I said, it was about wanting to tell actor stories that oftentimes weren't being told. It's not, even though we're a fitness company, it's not really a fitness podcast. You're not going to be tuning in and listening to us talking about working out and nutrition. It's more of a parallel of a journey in fitness compared to a journey in the theater world. Anyone knows trying to pursue a level of fitness is pretty much like a level of theater where it's ups and downs. It's never concrete and forever. Like you don't book a show and you have it forever, and you don't achieve a level of fitness and have that forever either. So what I like to do is not only talk about the highs of a performer's story, but the lows and the things that they went through that were really tough, and then how they got through those things. Because ultimately, we're trying to give encouragement and motivation, and just like a a togetherness, a feeling of like, oh, I'm not the only one that's going through these hard times. So that's what it's about, and it's a mix of my clients on Broadway and a mix of other performers that I just know through my clients or networks or people that I've performed with in the past.
It's really fascinating. The list of people is really awesome, and there's so many episodes that you can check out, so you can binge watch it or just catch up with the new ones. Yeah, I thought I was gonna be on Joe's show, and he was gonna ask me about like how much weight I have on my leg press or what I bench or something like that. It's way deeper. It's really asks great questions that I don't think people normally ask, because you really are somebody who's into the journey. It's not just what are you doing, what are you promoting, and thanks for being here. Like you want to get deep. You want to get in the trenches of it all.
Yeah, I feel like, especially with our culture and society being in such a influenced state of social media, let's just call a spade a spade. Like that's how the world goes round nowadays, pretty much. You've seen this shift where we are seeking authenticity more now than ever. Like if it seems like it's an advertisement, or if it seems inauthentic, it's like on to the next. So yeah, on my episodes, I'm trying to just really have a coffee shop chat with someone and allow our audience to feel as though they're sitting at the table with us. Maybe perhaps it's a round table. I don't know.
And maybe maybe it is a round. Maybe it is. I don't even own a round table. No, that's a lie. My dining room is round, Joe. You come to
There
Detroit, I will cook you a very healthy meal with only whole grain carbs like brown rice and sweet potatoes and lots of
no.
water, hard boiled eggs, kale. These are the
I
things I think Joe eats.
no, I was just in Italy, and the amount of cannoli and bread and pizza I had was, yeah, absurd.
I was going to say you're an Italian. I think you're Italian by the last name.
The last name's actually Slovakian, but my mom is Sicilian, so my both my grandparents from my mom's side is from Sicily. Yeah.
So my mom is 100% Italian, and my
Okay.
dad, my dad is half Irish and half Slovakian.
Okay, so okay, my dad is half Slovakian, half Bulgarian. So we have a similar kind of chemical makeup going on
I
there.
think
We
we
got
could be related, Joe. We could be cousins. How many people are from Slovakia? Eight people? I don't know
I
many.
I actually went to Bratislava last year because I really wanted to just see the home country, and some of the nicest people. Um, some really good food, like tavern food. Like if you want to go and get bar food in the States, you can get like bar food in the States, you can say, oh, that was good, but it's not necessarily like high quality food or like homemade feeling or whatever. But if you go to a tavern in Bratislava and get their food at the bar, it's like, I don't know, some grandma back there made it. It's the best.
So people say it's a beautiful country, so I really have to go check it. I've not been to Italy. I've not been to Slovakia, Czechoslovakia. My grandmother lived in Prague for a long time. Joe, we're related. That's what we found out. Joe is from Ohio. Yeah. He's related somehow. If we did a 23andMe, you might be my 8th cousin.
Well, let's not do that because apparently they're selling everyone's data or something crazy like that.
For real. So is there a chance that Joe gets back on stage, or is there a chance that Joe just does the fitness journey? Like, what is the next chapter for you?
I was thinking about that during my interview with you when you were talking about how brave you were to get back to performing at 32 or 33. I can't remember the exact age. 32, 33?
32.
32. So first off, again, amazing, because the courage that it takes to get back in the ring after that and knowing what this industry is all about is crazy. So, but no, I do joke about that. I always joke, like, when I go to see my clients and their shows, when they invite me to their shows, it's a double-edged sword. I am so happy for them. I love it. I love being at the theater. But on the other side, there is that kind of void of like, oh, I miss this. Like, this is still in me. So I do joke that I say, I'm going to let everyone get burnt out, get over this industry and say, I'm done with it. And then when I'm like, 45 or 50, I'm going to make my comeback and clean house because all of the talent has, moved on with their lives, and I'll be the only one left at that age.
Well, someone said, if you stick around long enough, you're going to get that part, you're going to break through. So I'm here for you, Joe. I feel you. I gave up that part. I don't want to do musicals anymore. I just want to do this. I want to do what I want. I'm too old to take directions from someone, Joe. I don't want, no. So I'm ready for you to go out there and do whatever you want to do. What can we do to stay up with you? What can we do to get part of the fitness journey or your journey as you evolve and your company evolves and you evolve and the journey and the podcast evolves? What's the best places for us to check it out?
Yeah, you can go to builtforthestage.com. It has everything there. So there's a free trial form. You can try working with me on the app for 2 weeks for free. You don't have to enter a credit card or anything like that. You literally just give me your email. I send you an invite and bing, bang, boom. There we go. Our swag shop's on there for our gear. The podcast is on there. You can check us out at Built for the Stage on Instagram. We do have an in-person challenge coming up on May 21st, our first one ever. I'm super excited for that. It's twice a week on Monday and Wednesday. A lot of the Broadway community will be there, but if you're not on Broadway or not even a performer and you just like the idea of training like a performer and you're in the New York City area, we'd love to have you. That's on our link tree on Instagram. You can check that out.
Well, we'll be following, and we're excited, and we're really excited to chat with you. We're excited for you to be here. Come back again. Tell us, come back whenever you want. Please keep us posted. We're here for all of the things that Built for the Stage and Joe, the human being, aside from the company, are going to do. So we're here for it.
We're throwing a big Tony party. So if you're going to be in New York during the Tonys, we have a private secret rooftop party that I won't disclose here, but you're invited, Robert, and you're +1. You can bring your partner. I'm sure you're working the red carpet, but like, hey,
I'm not. No, I'm not. I do you know what? I won't tell this.
Oh, maybe your cousins working
I
the red
turned
carpet.
it down last year, Joe.
Oh, look at you. I'm sorry. I just can't fit you. I can't fit the Tonys on my schedule this year. I'm sorry.
And Broadway, I've never told this story, and this is your interview. And see, I'm a bad host. I'm fine.
Let's.
Broadway World called me and said we could get one person on. You bring your own camera, and we do it. And it was Father's Day, and we had made reservations for the steakhouse that my dad has been trying to go to, and I just couldn't. I couldn't cancel with him to do.
Good for you.
And I just think what I learned about fitness and listening to you and, people that want to perform and maybe it didn't turn out the way we had always hoped when we were kids and we have pivoted and made different avenues and different businesses and different jobs is that there's got to be more to your life than just this business. And that's been another thing that's really kept me sane. And that's what I love about your company is because you can be an actor and you could sing and you can dance and you can but you also, there's Joe the human who has a personal life, and there's Joe the businessman, and that's what makes us, I hope, more so than not eating carbs, healthy. I think that's what makes us.
Yeah, I think the best equation for success is, or the best identity to have for success in theater is to say that you're not a theater person, but you're a person that does theater. And that's what I always try to communicate to my clients for sure.
Well, your pleasure. I'm excited to chat with you. Thank you for everybody who's watching us and listening to us. And I look forward to talking to you or seeing you in person real soon.
Yes.
Thanks for being
Thanks,
here.
Robert.